Welcome to the Confidence Crash Course, the podcast that will help you cultivate and capture your unique version of confidence. With a mix of tough love lessons and real life stories, each episode has some laughs, inspiration, and actionable tips that you can start implementing in your life right away. Get ready for a half hour of cultivating your inner strength and capturing the confidence that you deserve. The Confidence Crash Course is now in session. Hello, Confidence Crash Crushers. I am so excited for today's episode. We have our very first guest. Oh my God, I'm already sweating. I already have a sweat stash. I am so excited to bring to you Kayla Jury, aka Coach K. She's an expert teacher turned master coach that is literally changing the game in health and fitness. She's been helping people throw out the should-be narrative and live their best life for over 14 years. By the way, I did not realize you've been in the game this long.
Yeah, I don't look it, right?
Girl,
Got a little Botox.
girl, you know how I feel about high maintenance to be low maintenance.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I am just so excited to get on the topic of getting realistic about your health habits because honestly, I've been in your DMs. We have had the conversation about me. I know I'm not the only one I need balance. And I just think because you believe so much in an 80-20 lifestyle, you had to be here. You had to be the one I had to talk to this about. I think we should just jump straight in to 80-20. And you say that you like to use 80-20 to do the things that make you feel the most good the most often. Can you tell me more and tell the Confidence Crash Crushers more about 80-20?
Yes, of course. First, I am so honored to be your first guest on the pod. So super honored. And when we talk about 80-20, and we talk about getting realistic about our health, I think for everybody who's tuned into season 1, which is everybody who's listening to this now, right? And if you haven't, go listen to season 1. But a lot of what you talk about is pulling confidence from other places and where you find it. And you even had an Instagram post just recently of you're like, confidence doesn't necessarily need to come from how your body looks, the shape of your body, because it's so subjective anyways. But where confidence comes from your body is how your body feels inside. Like we've all had that morning where we've woken up bloated or woken up and you like can't take a shit. And you're like,
Amen.
You don't feel good. Like when you look in the mirror and you feel that way inside, you see something completely different. And so that's why getting realistic about our health habits matters, because we want to feel good inside so we can feel good about ourselves on the outside, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
80-20 is, I think, the chef's kiss strategy to that, because life is also meant to be lived. Like, you know this, your whole audience knows this. What is the point if we are not here to have fun? I'm a champagne drinker. I'm a spicy margarita drinker. I just did a balanced workshop last night and I was like, oh, if you're going to happy hour with me, we're having spicy margs and guacamole.
Yes.
Giving that up, that's what life is about. And so 80-20, basically what that is, 80% of the time, we're making choices that make our body feel good inside, right? So yeah, I drink spicy margaritas, but I don't have them for every meal in the day.
Why not?
Right?
Yeah, no, I couldn't imagine. My heartburn alone.
So let's use that as an example.
Yeah.
Heartburn alone. So the other meals in the day, you eat things that give your body what it needs to feel the best. You eat things that don't give you heartburn. You eat things that don't make you bloated. You eat the things that make you feel really good. Can they still tickle your taste buds? Absolutely. I'm a foodie. Absolute foodie.
I know, that's literally why I'm like, there's only so many people I can trust, because I'm like, I've got to trust a foodie and a drink. Like, she's got to know cocktails. She's got to know food. Otherwise, I can't. I'm like, you want me to just drink Soylent? What?
Right. And honestly, I think that's really hard. And if I just say one thing that I think is hard about the health and fitness world is so many people say be balanced, but they don't do it themselves because they aren't foodies or they don't like any of that. And they're like, what are they balancing? The difference between cheese on their burger and not? That's not what the meaning of balance is. And
absolutely,
that's also what makes balance fun, is it's individual for everybody though. Cause not everybody wants a spicy margarita. Some people want ice cream.
Yeah.
Right. Not everybody wants ice cream. Some people want nachos.
Yeah.
And it gets to be whatever we want. I think, and one of the biggest benefits, besides that 80% of the time you're giving your body what it needs to feel good, is the mindset with 80-20 is another thing that we all really struggle with, is the guilt that comes associated with having the ice cream or the nachos or the margaritas, right?
Yes,
We
this is
feel,
exactly what I was in the DMs with you about a week ago.
we
It's
feel
not,
like
it's
we're
guys, it's
doing
me
it
too.
wrong.
I'm not
Yeah,
perfect. It's me too.
we all are. But this
Yeah.
is the thing. Being 80/20 is quote unquote perfect because life is not 100%. And
Hmm.
so if we go in with the mindset saying, I'm planning to have 20%, then there is no guilt because you followed the plan. There's no going off the rails because it's part of the plan, right?
I love this. I love how you talk about building and planning around fun. I literally pulled a quote from your caption because it was like, and you said, if you love summer barbecues and river days, then we need to practice our health and life strategies at the barbecue and at the river.
Yes.
Blew my mind. It helped really sink in. That was like, that was the word. That was the thing.
Yes. And so that's where my like, I guess, slogan or tagline for Whole Human in the Business is make health fit you because you won't, you can. People get results all the time doing crazy ass shit. I'm not going to drink soda for 30 days. And for 30 days, I'm only going to eat chicken and rice. And I'm going to work out twice a day for 30 days. What happens? They lose a bunch of weight or they get whatever goal they're looking for. What happens when they stop doing all of that? All the success, quote unquote, success goes away. So I don't call that success because you're not, again, what we already said. What's the
Yep.
purpose? You're not living life if you don't do that. And so it's really important that if you want to be going to barbecues and if you want to be having river days, you just had a river day, but
Yes.
so much fun. If you want to be doing that, then you just have to know how that fits into your life and the strategies that you want to use while you do it. And applying it and practicing it in that moment is the only way to keep you successful forever.
I think the river day that I had might be a really good example, and you can help me see if I did this right.
Yeah.
So, going into the week, I knew it was going to be my brother's birthday on Friday. Saturday, I was going to likely black out at the river. And I told myself, what can I do throughout the whole week that makes me not feel like absolute crap? I have learned things about myself in the journey of finding a routine. Ugh, I know that if I don't get 10 minutes of sunshine before 10 a.m., I'm a beast by 3 p.m. These are like things that I've built into my life. I knew I had a big old smoothie before I went to the river. So I made sure I got my protein in, I made sure, and then I ate a really nice sandwich to get the carbs in before I went and drank for the next 5 hours. Is that's kind of feeling, that's feeling 80/20 to me.
Yeah. So the first thing I'm gonna say, I'm gonna challenge you with a thought
I love.
is that the how you started that explanation is you said, let me know if I did it right.
You're so get me.
And so the idea is that there is no right and there is no wrong. And that is the real truth. And I know everybody's going to be like, no, there has to be right.
That's realistic.
It's realistic is that there is no right and there is no wrong because everything is contextual and everything is subjective. And what we can do is have strategies that we can apply and learning opportunities that we can have. So this last weekend, we're going to do what I like to call reflect and then pre-flect. Word I made up. Pre-flect is basically you take what you know is a pattern for before and you apply it to next time. So let's pretend you're going to go the river again because you probably
Okay.
are, right?
Yeah.
So looking back on this, you had a protein smoothie in the morning, you had a big old sandwich, and then you drank for 5 hours. How did you feel?
On the river, I'll be honest, I felt amazing. And then the next day, I was really surprised I didn't have as much, like, I didn't have a hangover as much as I usually do. I think I might have low key pre-flected without knowing what the term was because I told myself, now remember the last time you went on the river, we left around 11 a.m. So that's like a hard time to do I eat breakfast? Do I eat
Mhm,
lunch?
mhm,
What do I do? And I remember not really eating a lot and not really drinking a lot of water before I put myself on a river in the beating sun for 5 hours and drank way too much for myself. I really only drink like once a month. That's my like, so I
mhm,
go balls to the wall when it's time. So I remember then I felt hungover for three
mhm.
days. I swear you hit your late 20s and you're hungover for 3 days. I cannot be alone on that.
Girl, I'm not in my 20s anymore. And I will tell you something. I've only been hungover twice in my whole life. And I
Is it
drink.
because of
And
the balance?
people always say, oh, you must not drink enough. Trust. No,
No,
it's
girl.
literally just a superhero power that I have. I don't know.
I can't wait for the day that you drink me under the table in person.
Oh, Well, now I'm afraid. My second hangover I ever had, and this is a total tangent, but it was just this last, it was Christmas Day from Christmas Eve. And now I'm afraid. So I will not be drinking anybody under the table because I don't know how all of you people who get hangovers do it. It was not
Thank
good.
you. That's why I'm a bud girl. That's why I'm a bud girl. But that's a whole nother tangent. I would love to keep talking reflecting, pre-flecting, because
Yes, yes.
holy crap. I feel like this goes into a lot of I talk a lot about all or nothing thinking. Like it's literally everything or I'm a piece of crap. I can't do anything. So I would love to talk more about how you talk about throwing out that should be narrative and creating something that's fulfilling all of the time.
Okay, so perfect. So let's finish. We were kind of saying then for you, how did you feel? Right. So you were
Mm.
like, okay, I felt pretty good on the river. I had my protein, I felt amazing, and I even had
Yeah.
less of a hangover the next day. So not only did current in the moment Chloe having the time of her life, living it up, felt really good, but also Chloe 2 days later feels really good too. And so
Yeah.
when we make our decisions, we always want to think about our current selves, but also me in 2 days. And so that's when we can also get rid of kind of that regret and everything is thinking about the person in the future. But how we get rid of that should be narrative is doing the practice that we just did exactly. You looked and got the answer from yourself for what made you feel good. You did not look, you didn't say, Kayla, what do you do on the river? You didn't say, Coach
Mm.
K, what does everybody else do on the river? I
Yes.
asked you, what do you do? I asked you if it felt good. You said yes, therefore that is what you should do at all. It should only be, this should only come from you, not from somewhere else. And that's, I love social media. Like I love, like we only know each other from social
For
media, right?
real.
I love social media, but that can also be one of the hard parts is we see something and absorb it. And we say, oh, so people listening to this, just because Chloe has a protein shake and a sandwich on the river doesn't mean that's your should.
Yeah. That's not
You
a
can
foolproof
try
plan
it,
for everybody.
right? You can try it, but your job is then say, how did it make me feel? And so we don't need to be thinking about anybody else. We need to be thinking about our own feelings emotionally and physically. And so I would also say this, if I were like, if you were in Whole University and we were coaching, I would ask
Yeah.
you, how did you feel? And you said, I felt good. I was less hungover. I would also ask you, how did you feel and emotionally? Did you have fun?
Yeah, I had a blast.
Because what I don't want you to say is, oh yeah, I didn't have that much fun because I was like trying to drink less, or I
Mhm.
didn't want to eat the sandwich, but I made myself. And I'd be like, no, then that's not something you do. Then
Yeah.
we need to find a different plan. We have to edit and enhance that so that you like it. So that's what it is.
I am
The
blown
answer is
away. Blown away. You always pull things out of my own brain that I'm like, it was in there already. Thank
yes.
you.
How empowering is that?
Girl, you know how much I freaking just love talking to you. I walk away every single time I talk to Coach K. I walk away, I'm just like, I'm a queen. I can do anything I want.
And so, like we just to circle it back to the beginning,
Yeah.
that empowerment makes you more confident.
It's almost like these things go together. No, I know that so you mentioned a reel that I posted. I said that confidence is not necessarily tied to your body type. It's not tied to a fitness level. I definitely don't think anybody's looking at me for fitness tips, but they definitely look to me for confidence tips. So I feel because our physical fitness and the way our body looks, like I said, that's our first real introduction into how we're going to walk through life. And I just love how you focus on that. Even if you can't stick to the plan, if you have a plan and it doesn't really work out that time because life happens. You are very realistic with the way you talk about things. And like you talked me down in the DMs about a week ago. We were talking about pizza rolls, y'all. Pizza
Yes.
rolls. And you asked me, how do you feel? I was like, oh, I just like the pizza rolls are bad for me. And we unpacked that. I would love to honestly go through that again.
Okay, cool. There's two things that I want to say about what you said.
Please.
You started with body shape, and we also just talked about should. And I think
Mm.
that's a big place with should. And I just want to quickly share a conversation that a student of mine and I had a couple weeks ago where she had this should idea that she should have abs. I just always imagined that I would be trying to get physical abs. And I said, okay, well, tell me why. Tell me how you want to feel in your body. Tell me like what is your queen version of you? Like when you walk into a bar, what is that? And she, like the words that she was using were like romantic and sexy. And I was like, Okay, so now I want you to imagine a romantic and sexy body. Does it have chiseled
Rock
abs? Is
hard
she like,
abs.
no, there is no six pack on a romantic, sexy body. That's if I were thinking like she had this should image
Yeah.
that wasn't even lined up with her desire. And so even when we think about how we want to look, we really need to analyze that that still comes from how we feel and like our desire about ourselves. Now, if you're somebody who's, I want to be like a CrossFit baddie, I want someone to look at me and think I could do 100 push-ups, then okay, yeah, chiseled abs
Oh.
makes sense for you, right? That's different.
Yeah.
But so I think that's another piece of that should be narrative. But back to the pizza rolls.
Yeah.
So you were like, okay, pizza rolls are bad for you. And
Mhm.
my first question is always, tell me why. And most
Mhm.
people say pizza rolls are like fat and they don't
Yeah.
have vegetables in them. And I'm like, okay, what does it have for you? Right? Food, any food that you eat, like why did you eat those pizza rolls? Because you were hungry and needed energy. Every single thing we eat gives us energy in some way or another. So that's how we need to start looking at our food. You're like, I need
Mm.
some power. So I'm going to
Yeah.
eat my sandwich. I'm going to eat whatever it is. I had one
Mm.
of my students actually just tell me the other day, she's, I feel so empowered because I'm eating a sandwich every day for lunch. And she used to be afraid of bread, right? Because bread was bad. Things like
Uh-huh.
that have been so demonized. And
Mm.
she used to be so afraid to eat that. But what she's learned is bread gives her energy. Now,
Mm.
the thing that you had said about pizza rolls is you're like, they don't really make me feel very good.
Yes. I love when I always joke, I'm like, I'm the perfect person to ask questions because I already know where we're going. So I'm like, I'll be so upfront. And that's why oh my God. Every time I'm honest with you, it's like, mindset shift. I was like, Kayla, it's not the necessarily, like, I know that it's not like gonna kill me if I eat pizza rolls like once a week. I'm okay. But it's the fact that I eat these pizza rolls and then I have heartburn. And
Mhm.
then my stomach is way too full because I don't know, it's because they're so small. And if I made 10, then I'm like, if I only eat 8, then I'm losing. I eat all what's on my plate like normal people
Mhm.
do. And then I'm like, oh, I feel crappy. The energy doesn't stick as long. I can just feel that this wasn't necessarily good for me.
So here's the secret. But they tickle your taste buds and they're very convenient, right?
Yes.
So that is the
Yes.
pros of pizza rolls. They
Yes.
really tickle your taste buds and they're very convenient. And they're honestly like they're like fun to interact with
Yes.
at the
It's
food. Okay.
and give me some ranch and I'm sold.
See, what we need to do then is if they make you not feel good, we need to add something that makes you feel good with them. So the most cliche like version of this is pizza and salad. Because pizza, a lot of people like all that dairy and all the fat that comes in pizza doesn't make people's stomach feel good. But if
Mhm.
you add something with that's nutrient dense, like with fiber and things like that, it helps process it through your body better and then you feel better. So I want you, this is your homework, you specifically, Chloe, and I guess anybody else
Please.
listening can do this too. I want you to make a list of foods that make you feel good. Make a list of
Oh,
foods that physically not tickle your taste buds
right.
because you already know all those,
Yeah.
but that make you feel good in your body and eat some of those every single day.
I love this. And it's been so interesting because I feel like, of course, I've been doing some of the work because I've known you and I always creep on you and I take every little tip that you have. So I know that things that make me feel good, if I keep adding them into my body, it kind of, I never want to say it makes up for that 20%, but it kind of builds me so that 20% doesn't hurt me
It
as
makes your
much as it
80%.
feels like
Yeah.
it's gonna hurt. I can
Yeah.
do one night of drinking because I was like, I did good. Or I was like, I did everything that I needed to do for my own self to prepare myself. And then when I went out Saturday night and then I ate pizza on the curb, I didn't wake up the next day with running diarrhea. I was fine.
Yeah. And also, hopefully, you didn't wake up with guilt and shame about it either. And just, man, that was so much fun. And you remember the memory of your friend passing out on the curb next to you. And so you just get to enjoy it and laugh.
We need to go more into this guilty stuff. I think that's a perfect way to kind of transition this into a more of a mindset because I have said to you so many times, going off the rails,
Mm.
bad day, that was bad for me. And you say a lot of sometimes there's just times where you can't stick to the plan. And what do we do if there's no willpower? What are strategies and tips to live life to the fullest, but still reach these goals and not feel like a guilty sack of shit whenever I don't do what I thought I was supposed to do or what I quote unquote should do?
I love this. So, a couple different things. The first thing is remember that 20% is in the plan. So, we always want to make sure that we know that 20% is part of it. So like my birthday is actually coming up very soon. My plan is not to make myself test my willpower, right? My
Mm.
plan is to say on my birthday, I'm most likely having champagne for breakfast. On my birthday, I'm throwing a Game of Thrones party and we're going to be drinking all the things all night and eating a big ass charcuterie board all night, right? You should see my outfit. Wait till you see my outfit.
I'm so excited.
Going as Her Grace Lady Kayla. I will be the queen. I'm literally the queen.
I'm so excited.
And John is going to be my hand. He literally is going to be the hand of the
Hand
queen.
of the queen.
It's
I'm
amazing.
so excited to see this.
So that's the first thing is know that it's your 20. Know that it's part of your plan. You're planning for it. And especially if you can do all the things that make your body feel good 80% of the time, it's no big deal because that's the biggest thing. We don't plan for it. But the other thing is I have such a problem with willpower because we set ourselves up so many times to battle with it. And why? That feels bad. And so here's an example. John and I are traveling a lot at the end of this month. We're going to LA, we're going to Vegas, we're doing all these things. And one of the things that I know about myself is on the first night we land somewhere, that is like the most exciting night. And that is the night where I am like you, don't only drink once a month. And so that night is the night where we're like, oh my goodness, we got to go find a great restaurant. Not go find, I have a color coded itinerary, but we go and we get drinks and we go out and we party. Now, what would not be smart for me is to then say, oh, on my first night in, we're actually just going to stay chill. I'm not going to have anything to drink and I'm just going to eat a salad. And that's what we do all the time. I'm setting myself up for not success because I know that's the most exciting part of my trip is arrival. But why would I tell myself to eat a salad and go to bed early? No, I need to plan to have a couple margaritas and be staying out until 3 a.m. and not sleeping as much that night.
It's like one of those things, like this is what's so crazy to me sometimes about mindset shifts. It's like, it makes so much sense hearing you spell it out like that. And my brain goes, Chloe, this is what you've been kind of thinking this entire time. So just thank you for the permission for a sec. Because I know sometimes we all just need the permission from someone else to be like, oh, okay. It's not exactly how it was in the 90s where everybody was crazy about diets and we skinny everything. It was skinny branded everything and carbs were bad and I'm a terrible person if I don't go to the gym. I can't tell you how many times in college I would book like a 6-7 a.m. workout class from the bar stool because I was like, I have to make up for all these drinks. And I was miserable.
Yeah, not even realistic time to show up. So again, right there, you're already setting yourself up for not going with your flow state, not going for what is even aligned with you. And we can talk about workouts in a whole nother thing and how I feel about that. But I think that not setting yourself up to have to fight your willpower is the best thing. And so people tell me all the time, you have so much willpower. And I was like, I never use it ever.
You set yourself up not to.
Yeah, I make it so I don't have to.
This is honestly blowing my mind because I know that a lot for the less confident people in us and we all have that really like insecure part of us and everybody does. Some of us it's just a little bit bigger and a little bit louder. I know that mine gets really loud when I allow myself to battle in my thoughts. For instance, I saw a post from you that was talking about going out and having fun and not feeling like you did all of the work and you set yourself up for success. So that way, when you walk through the door going out, you're not thinking, oh, does my outfit, is it doing this? Oh my gosh, are people looking at me? Where am I going to go? Trying to do like the nervous stuff. If you set yourself up and you already know kind of how things are going to go, oh my God, it relieves this weight and it calms those loud voices. So that way you can actually freaking enjoy yourself.
That queen energy.
Oh my gosh.
That's where it comes from. And I think what you said too is that I'm technically an expert, but that doesn't mean that I don't still have to do the work. And I think that's another thing too, is that we all really want to be able to say, okay, I did it. And then if you don't maintain it, it does go away. Yeah. It does. And so I think one of the things that like even your podcast is really great about is it's accountability for people to remember to do the work and to remember to say, okay, like right now, I'm giving permission. I'm giving permission to plan for these things. I'm giving permission to not battle your willpower. But chances are, accountability wise, and especially the very first time you do it, you need to check in with somebody like after that weekend and be like, okay, I just want to feel like some affirmation that I'm doing okay still, right? We still need that when we're going through it. And no matter how confident we become, it comes back. It's a constant battle. And it's also just kind of part of the world that we live in right now.
It's so true. You approach healthy life in such a realistic way, and I think that's why you've been so successful with Whole Human. Can you please, I'm rolling out the red carpet for you. Tell me all about Whole Human. Tell the Confidence Crash Crushers why they need to be in your coaching program. I already know why. The minute I'm getting in, getting it. Yeah. So tell these people why they just need you.
So Whole Human is my overarching coaching brand, but my course right now that would best serve this conversation is Whole University. And because I was a teacher before, everything has a play on teacher theme, which I absolutely adore and love. And the thing that's so amazing about it is that it's all around making your health fit you, like we just said, right? There is no should or whatever it is, but what we do is we figure out what are the things that you love in your life, and we figure out how to get the result that you want individually, because we are all different. We all have a different goal. We all have a different body, and we all have different preferences. So this is not, like it says on the webpage, we are not a diet program at all. This is the place where you go to figure out how you feel the best so that you can make those choices literally for the rest of your life. So how we do that is through the Whole Human method. Since I was a teacher before, that gives me a different perspective than most coaches or anybody in the health and fitness kind of world. And so what I've done is I've created, after coaching hundreds of people, this framework, and it goes from building your foundations, which are the things that make you feel the best. So even things as much as like how much water feels good for you, like figuring that out, and then figuring out how we can get you to be consistent with that. So the foundations are building your base of when you feel most optimal and when you feel the best. And we have strategies that are original to Whole Human that help you be consistent, because we want it. What my students start to say is, oh, it's like riding a bike, or this is like breathing. I forgot I was even working on it because it's so automatic, right? That's how we want it to feel. You are winning. And so then after you get those foundations down, we take you into the advanced level, and that's where we double down on that and go into even more specifics, and people can learn even more about their body. And that's where we dive a lot, like you said, into the mindset. And one of the biggest things that we do, and if I'm really honest, is probably the longest, the strategy that takes the longest for most people to pass to get into mastery, is self-talk. That's one of our strategies in advanced, and working on that. But then when we get to mastery, we figure out how to make everything automated, how to make sure that your foundations and baselines stay with you while you're traveling, while you're doing birthdays, while you're doing all of these other things, you're 20%, right? And how to do that without ever having to track or keep data or anything like that for the rest of your life. And then after that, you graduate, and we actually celebrate your graduation. So you move up in these levels, and it's really exciting, and it's so much fun. And with that, everything's personalized. So they get daily support from me. They have the course. So every single step of that framework is a video, like Netflix. They just go in, press play. So if you can't, you don't need to come live. You can watch it Saturday at 9 a.m. You could watch it Friday at midnight, whatever works for you. And then go get that daily support in the Slack channel. And it's amazing. We're currently collecting data on because I want actual hard data, because I
love that about your approach.
Right. But for every single level, because right now, 100% of people who get through foundations become more energized, become stronger. And if weight loss is their goal, they do get that. And then they also just become so much more consistent, and the strength, the energy, and the consistency, confidence is just through the roof. So 100% of people just in foundations, that's only the first level. So
oh my gosh.
There's literally nothing like it in the health and fitness world.
Every glimpse I've ever gotten inside of it, I'm just like, it's life changing. And I know the people I personally know that have went through life changing. Now you also have a podcast.
Yes.
Tell me more. Like, what is coming with the podcast? Are there topics that you would suggest that go along with our episode today? I'll link them in our description.
Yes, I will get some. I actually just did a podcast very specifically on figuring out what feels the best for you to feel your most confident on the outside. So we can link that one. But the
Please.
podcast really is diving into all of those things like we've done. Like I've just live asked you the questions, right? So the podcast is diving in, and when you listen, you get to ask yourself those questions. And there's, like I said, I'm a teacher, there's homework. There's homework on the episodes to keep you accountable, to do the work and get the result that you want. And so I want my podcast to be the place where people go to get a transformation on their own for free and self-study it and enjoy it and love it. And honestly, people are loving it. I just started it this year, and in the month of May, we had more listens in the month of May than we did January, February, March, and April put together. So it's like starting to like really take off. Yeah.
That makes me so happy because, again, guys listening, confidence crash crushers, I would not bring Kayla on if I didn't wholeheartedly believe in every single aspect of what she's teaching. She is one of the only people I would ever trust with talking about the way I feel about food, the way I feel about fitness, and the way I feel about my physical body, the mindset around it. She's one of the only people that I feel like really breaks it down in a realistic way. So if you are vibing with what I say, you are going to vibe with what Coach K says. So you've got to follow her. You've got to get along. If you can't invest in a full program, no worries. That's what the podcast is. She just did Balance EDU, which was perfect. Can you tell them about Balance EDU?
Yes. So Balance EDU is all about, as we're on the cusp of summer right now, and we just were talking about going to the river and going to barbecues. I want this to be the time where we don't have guilt, where we don't have shame, and we have strategies to make our best life happen. Like literally best life, live it. That's what we're here for. And you know what? I'll hook everybody up with the replay. We'll make a special page or something for your audience so that they can get the replay, because it's just 3 strategies that are simple. Again, none of this, we don't want it to be hard because we want you to do it right away. After you listen to this episode, after you watch the replay, you're going to have the most balanced weekend of your life.
Seriously.
We want
It was like,
immediate
you're not recreating the wheel, but I like the way you spelt it out truly finally sunk into this thick brain of mine. It was blown away. I'm so excited. I'm so thankful that you're willing to like give it out to the confidence crash crushers, because this is gonna, it's life. It's honestly, it's really, truly mindset changing. I have thoroughly enjoyed all of this. Oh my gosh, Kayla, like literally anytime you want to come on and talk anything, the confidence crash course is yours.
I've loved being here. Of course, this is my favorite stuff to talk about. And I love your energy and being surrounded by it and having it like pour all over me right now. I love that.
Oh my gosh. Confidence crash crushers, everybody listening right now, right after this, you better go jump into the Whole Human podcast, follow Coach K, look at Balance EDU, do all of that, and then we'll be right back in every Tuesday. We'll be hanging out right here on the Confidence Crash Course. That's a wrap for this sesh of the Confidence Crash Course. If you like what you heard today, share this episode with a friend who could use a confidence boost. If you haven't already liked, subscribed, rated, or reviewed on whatever platform you're currently on, it'd be a lot cooler if you did. If you haven't gotten your fill of me yet, get a little more by following at Confidence Crash Course on all social platforms and join our community in the Confidence Crash Crusher Facebook group. Until the next session, stay confident and stay crashing.